Woohoo! Hello, bright and shiny beacons of light. Of course, I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. Behind me, I've got Rue. He's got his girlfriend Susie Q up here tonight rather than Henrietta. We're going to see how that does for him. And the reason it's taken me a little bit long to get going here is we may well, I cannot promise, I certainly cannot promise, I don't need to keep these on now. We may well have a special appearance from a very, very special guest. Between you and me, her name is Hannah Bear. She is 11 months and 4 days old, and we will see. But there is a real chance she may come and join us on the show for a sneak peek before bedtime. So I was off and I'm doing the best I could, which isn't that much, admittedly, before a show to help get her ready. We're going to talk about all things past lives tonight. We're probably not going to talk much about the fam, but it has been an amazing week with her development. She's discovered stairs. She loves them. More dancing at the jamboree, barely needing assistance, tiny bit of assistance walking around. And she's got her grandparents here, Jessica's parents. So how does it get any better than this? And Rue, as you may have caught from our Daily Woohoo, which is our newsletter that helps bring your vibration up and way up on a daily basis. We had a story last week about Rue, who ended up learning how to swim accidentally and swam quite well, I would say. So that was good to hear. All right, let's talk about past lives. And I'm hearing some noise in the kitchen right now. So I just want to make sure I've got the mic on the right setting for you guys so that it is nice and quiet. And what is this? Wait a second. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, be still, my heart. Be still, my heart. Oh, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? Oh, oh, oh. Dinosaurs! Dinosaurs! How does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? So we're talking about all things past lives. We know she's had a life or two before this. Woo! And she is standing super tall, owning the camera, owning all of it. Oh, Hannah Bear! Oh my gosh. Oh, you want to sit down and join us? Is that what you want to do? Do you want to talk about anything in particular having to do with past lives, of which I'm guessing you remember? Anything to do with why you came here, the mission that you're on? Oh, you want the mouse? I see. Well, how about if I give you my prayer stone instead of the mouse? Because if you have the mouse, then you might click the mouse, and if you click the mouse, you can click the ending button. I don't even know where to go with this. I don't know where to go with this. Oh, I know you want the mouse. Her favorite thing is electronics. So I've got a phone over here, loving it. Mouse, gotta have it. I'm surprised you're not going for daddy's glasses. Microphone. Of course, the microphone. All right. I have no idea how I talk about past lives while you are in camera, except maybe I can jump in here and say this. Ooh, careful, that could unplug the whole show. Oh, goody, what did we just do here on the camera? I think we're still live. I think we are. Here, let's click the off button here. Oh, geez. There we go. Now that's off. We're talking about past lives tonight. Everyone comes in with past lives that get to be cleared, except maybe Hannah Bear, but everybody else does. And that's what we're going to talk about here. I've got my in-laws behind me. I've got Jessica off camera. I've got Rue going, oh, and so I don't know where to go with this. I don't know. You've got the mouse. You're so precious. Thank you, everybody, for your patience, because I don't even know. I got to tell you, this has been the most. I know, Rue. This is he's behind me. And Hanaver is going, microphone. So let's see if I can. Do you want her back now, or should I try to start the? She's going to pull the plug on the mic. Oh, I hope people can still hear me. Wow. Bedtime is in 9 minutes. Well, I could have her here for 9 minutes, and we could start into past lives. Or I'm just checking. We've got the mic on. Well, let's see what the audience wants. Audience, do you mind if I'm like completely and totally distracted, but have Hannah Bear here? Or would you prefer that we get into all things past lives first? I'm getting more Hannah, stay. All right, what are your questions for Hannah Bear? What are your questions? Yes, Hannah Bear. So they want Hannah Bear. So it's interesting that every baby comes in with their own wants, their own desires, their own things that they're wired for. And so we have had lots of rain and wind and all sorts of weather the last few days. And Bhavik may even have a picture he can put up, so much for that mouse, of her walking while being held in the wind and rain with Mama Bear and being so excited. Now she's trying to get to the computer and she wants to press the keys. There goes my prayer. It's so strong. You're about to push the chair back. It's okay, Ru. You have no idea the strength of this girl. She comes from one pro athlete and somebody else who's even stronger than the pro athlete. Oh my God, she's like pushing the chair back right here. She's in a complete leg lock. All right. Anything else you want to share with people? Where did my prayer stone go? I don't know. So we know that you came in here loving action, loving movement, loving electronics, wanting to know more about mouse. Mama Bear gave her mouse off camera. Yes, Hannah Bear does get the can't even talk. She does have the leg lock. Oh well, the prayer stone. We can do without the prayer stone for tonight. Is there anything you want to share? Anything about life here on Earth this time around that is really, really exciting to you? I know you. Whoa, she's definitely doing some yoga moves here. I know, Rue. I know you've got the mouse. I am king of the mouse, queen of the mouse, everything of the mouse. People are asking, are there any predictions? Yes, the prediction is I may be needing a new mouse after this show. That's one thing. But she is so into it. Nothing stronger than a toddler's grip. Oh, there. Is this a comedy now? Is that what this is? Let's see what we can do to Daddy on camera. Is that what this is? What's that? Oh, you're wanting the phone now. You're wanting the phone. You've got the microphone. We might need. Yeah, there we go. Is there anything else you want to share? She's watching Grandma and Grandpa. Grandma and Grandpa, why don't you come here so she looks at the camera? There we go. Keep coming over. Keep coming over. There we go. Now this is movie magic. So now she looks like she's looking at the camera. I know. I know. I do. Anything else you want to say? Huh? 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 You're totally silent. Huh? This is rare. Totally. Huh? Ah. 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 Should we get you to bed now? Okay. Oh, yeah, that might be time for Betty Bye, huh? I think you said okay. All right. So thank you, Hannah Bear. And this was the most precious start of any show ever, of ever, of ever, of ever. So, oh, we're not quite done yet. She's wanting headphones, but I think it's a good time to go headphones. He did say, okay, shall we go to bed then? I know you already said okay, and now you're getting, I think she said okay again. I think she's really saying okay. Yeah. I keep trying to get you on microphone, but you keep spinning the mic. I get it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I say we go to bed. Oh, I know. I know. Ah. 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 All right. Somebody says I can't watch. I'm scared for the headphones. Fortunately, I have backup. All right. I love you so much. I love you so much. Sweet dreams, sweet, sweet dreams. Thank you for joining us on camera. You are so precious that I am out of words. And that is rare, but you have made Daddy completely and totally out of words. So you ready to go, Betty? Bye. Whoa, good save. Okay, here we go, Mama Bear. Here we go. I almost don't know where to go with that. Hold on, let me see if I can find my prayer stone because it helps me ground while I can have talk. I know she has completely launched that. No, good boy. I know I'm gonna put this back there. Are you good boy? All right. So we're going to take a couple deep breaths and we're going to dive into past lives. And for those of you who are still here, thank you. Yes, I do have tiger shorts on. I always have something fun on. Tiger shorts, Grogu shorts, who knows what shorts they're going to be. And yes, we do have a topic. Somebody else has a 15-month-old baby with a birthmark on his hand as well. I think that's the new gen. They're kind of cool. All right, that was a complete and total aside. But I will say this, if you did catch that mark on her hand, we were seeing blue orbs everywhere before she was born, and she lost her twin in utero. And so we assumed that the blue orbs, when they showed up, were her twin sister. And when baby Hannah was born, she had and still has a blue orb on her hand. How does it get any better than this? And that's just kind of wild. All right. We're going to talk tonight about past lives, and we're going to talk about how that you can plug into them, find out what they are, and even clear some of the wounds behind it. Let me get my mouse going here so that I can see what we're talking about, but that is the general idea of what we're talking about here tonight. Past lives, it's a very important topic, and it is an easy segue to do in many ways as my brain comes back online. Baby Hannah had and has many past lives. You and I had and have many past lives. They pepper our existence. They do lead to karma, though probably not in the way that you thought. And they have some amazingly positive consequences to it. And the trick is we get wrapped up around past lives in a way that's not so constructive to us, where there are ways that are actually hugely positive. So first off, past lives, this is the mind blower, past lives are not past lives. Past lives are not past lives. They're present lives on another timeline. You couldn't even say on a parallel path or an alternate universe. Why? Time ain't real. Physics has shown this time and time again. Time is not real. It's a construct that helps us to live out our existence here on Earth so that things don't get really confusing. But in the greater scheme of the universe and universes, multiverses, there's no such thing as past. There's no such thing as future. Everything is happening in parallel, in tandem, or stacked, one layer on top of the other. This is huge to understand. So worrying and fretting about the past does nothing to do with the present. It hasn't in many ways even taken place yet. So this idea of, well, I had a past life and that hurt me, or I was on this planet and that hurt me. And we had a beautiful show with Carolyn Corey on Thursday about other worlds that we may have come from. In a sense, all of this is real and very helpful. On another level, getting wrapped up in story prevents us from living here and now. Why? Because the pesky ego tries to get involved, and it tries to tell you why the past life is important, why you're important, why you're the most important person now. And it does seem, doesn't it, that everybody had a past life as Cleopatra or a goddess or a king or a queen or who knows what. Good stuff. This is, and if you've had that reading, it's good stuff. However, we get to live here and now. So the question is, how can we use that story from the past, and putting that in quotes, story from the past, to energetically change our existence in the here and now? First off, your most important past lives, because again, they could be in the past, they could be in the future. This timeline gets really interesting when we step outside of human time or human lifetime. It gets really, really interesting. So the most important thing about past lives is the powerful messages they have for you that you still get to decipher here and today. I was channeling for this class, YouTube live event. The classes are even deeper. Those are Wednesday at our School of Mystics. But I was channeling for this morning, and I was I was gifted with another glimpse into another past life. How does it get any better than this? And I was shown what I can learn from this past life. And this is so important. Each past life has messages for you. And often, this is the wild thing, your past lives are still playing out at present time. Your past lives are still playing out. The challenge with this is, if your past lives are truly playing out here in the now and you knew it, you wouldn't be able to live this existence. You'd be too confused. You'd be too concerned about what you're doing as the king, as the queen, as Cleopatra, as this person, as somebody from Atlantis, and you wouldn't be able to ground into this existence. But the past is not the past. It's concurrent experiences happening in tandem here for your evolution. Past lives are simply or merely concurrent experiences here for your personal spiritual evolution. Every past life, every future life, this life in particular, while you're living it, is here for your evolution. So, when we think about past lives, and I'm going to teach you tonight in just a little bit, 3 different ways that you're able to connect with or discover your past lives. When we think of past lives, hold on one quick second here. One quick second. I'm sorry. We have dishwashing going on in the kitchen with the in-laws, and it there. When we look at past lives, what's so important is the details are not important. In this timeline of our existence, we want to know what happened here, what's going to happen there, what about this, what about that, what about the other thing? And we're always thinking everything is important, everything matters. Yet when you do a past life regression, it's interesting. You never find out about the details about how you did the dishes, how you set the table, anything of the sort. That's not important. It's the overarching theme that matters most. So when we look at past lives, we get wrapped up in the details. We could call them a future life as well, but the details are completely inconsequential. And that's actually the first piece for tonight, rather than focusing on the past lives. Because what we learn is when we go to a past life, we find the details are inconsequential. We go to another past life, we find the details are completely inconsequential. We go to another past life and we find out the same thing. What does this mean? Every single life you have is here to teach you. Every single life that you have is here for your ascension. Every single life you have is here for you to grow. The details, whether it's a past life, whether it's a future life, or whether it is this life, are inconsequential. In other words, you're going to be done with this lifetime in a beyond a nanosecond of time in the greater scheme of your infinity. And you are an infinite being having a human existence. When you look back on this life and you learn and you grow from it, the details won't be that important. And yet we get completely and totally wrapped up in the details. One of the key lessons from our past lives is to let that go on such a deep, profound, spiritual level. The details aren't important. It's the key lessons, the learnings, the peak experiences that matter most. So, before we go into channeling and how you can plug into your past lives, it helps you in this lifetime if you can live as if it were a past life, as if you got to travel back to this time, right some wrongs, have the best life you could here without worrying about the details. You'd live life completely differently. And that's a key challenge for you this life. And it's a key challenge that we can learn from past lives. How can we live differently as if this were a past life? And I hope you're hanging in there with me, because you're going to get on the other side of the veil and you're going to learn things from one life, from another life, from another life, from this life, from the next life, and on it goes. And yet we live here as if this is all we have. And we get so wrapped up in it rather than the big picture arc of our life, rather than the love of our lives, rather than enjoying this existence. We are so wrapped up in it that we forget that this is just a tiny snapshot in time, and to have fun with it, with everything we've got. And that's a huge, huge lesson we get from looking at our past lives. We get to learn how to detach from problems, challenges, heartaches, and heartbreak, and to view things from a higher level. I guess that's what I'm doing when I have Hana Bear in my hands. Everybody does that when they have a baby in their hands, particularly their own baby. Other babies, I was like, I don't want to drive this yet. I'm not ready. Took me a long time to be ready. But when you have your own baby in your hands, you're taking a higher level. Hold on. We have a nighttime escapee here. We have a Roo who's ready to go to sleep. Hold on one second here, everybody. And he's going to say good night to everybody. And he's going to say happy birthday to him. Are you ready? Are you ready to go to sleep? This is just an off the hook show here tonight. I know. So do you want to say good night to everybody, Roo? And clearly he has had some amazing past lives that he gets to share, and some wounds that get to be cleared. And what we're going to do tonight is we're not just going through how to plug into your past lives. We're going into how you can clear these wounds as well. I know. The high-pitched squeak that you have, the high-pitched squeak is, I am tired and I need to go to sleep. You know, one thing I want to show you. So people can't get an idea really of this on camera. Rue, do you mind if we do just a tiny bit of show and tell here? Rue is huge. You don't usually know that, but he is actually the height of my entire torso, then some. He is huge. He is huge. He is huge. And yes, he is quintessential rooster red. No, he's not heavier than Hana Bear. He's all feather. He's 10, 11 pounds. But when you see him like at a farmer's market, your jaw just hits the floor because he is so big. So, Rue, you've got a rooster in Vermont by the name of Frank that is saying hi. Yes, he is part rooster, part Clydesdale. So, are you ready to go to sleep? I would hold you in my arms, Rue, as I'm giving this talk, but I would completely lose any ability to teach here tonight. And we've already seen that with baby Hana. So, all right, let's get Rue to sleep. All right, good boy. And yes, he's much bigger than kitties. And then I'll go back on camera. All right, let's do this. Let's get you to sleep. Let's get you to sleep. Good boy. You're such a good boy. What a beautiful, challenging evening in so many good ways. Yeah, Rue is really, really special and really, really, really huge. All right. So, message number one: past lives show us how precious this life is and how little the details matter, because in the greater scheme of things, it's not the details you're going to be focused on. It's going to be the learnings. And past lives also teach us that whether it's a tragedy or travesty that we went through, everything we've gone through in the past has been a metaphor or story from which to learn. Your past lives aren't just interesting. There are metaphor or story from which to learn. And they're not just stories that reside up here. They don't even necessarily have to reside in consciousness. They reside in the energetic matrix or the fabric of our beingness. The energetic matrix or fabric of our beingness. What does that mean? It means, in essence, we vibrate, you vibrate. If you think of yourself as a harp, if you think of yourself as a fiddle, if you think of yourself even as a singing bowl, maybe especially as a singing bowl, the note that you play vibrates differently because of all the past lives that you've had and the messaging from your past lives that's attached to your soul. And every single past life leaves a message attached to your soul. This is where it gets really interesting. The note that you play, your frequency, is directly affected by the vibration of your past lives and whether you've healed the wounds from your past or whether the wounds are still open. Now we're getting to karma, but a completely different way of looking at things. That's not saying, well, bad things are going to happen to you because of your past lives. Nothing could be further from the truth, but you vibrate differently. And in essence, the universe is asking you based on your past lives, hey, did you heal from these experiences? Did you learn from these experiences? Did you grow? Did you grow from these experiences? For the answer is yes. If the answer is yes, let's put it a different way. If the answer is yes, you have grown and learned from a past life, you get to move on. You get to have truly new experiences. However, and you don't have to remember all of your past lives. Don't leave the show going, oh my God, I've got to remember all my past lives because I get to heal my own old wounds. Don't worry, it doesn't work that way. But if the answer is, I have learned from these past lives, do I get to move on? Yes. If the answer is no, I haven't learned the lessons yet, this is what we call karma. Situations will then repeat time after time after time, giving you the opportunity to heal. Karma is not about punishment. It's giving you the opportunity to heal, to grow, to expand, and to ascend. It is about your energy spiraling upwards. It is not about, I did something wrong, and so my energy will spiral downwards. That's not how the game works. It's all a cosmic setup to help you. And it's like a curriculum at school, an interesting school to say the least. You take a class, if you didn't get a passing grade, you get to take it again. If you didn't get a passing grade, you get to take it again. That's what karma is, not this big, bag, ugly thing, but a lesson you get to understand and embody. And yes, you choose on the other side to come back and learn this lesson, because this earth, viewed from the earth side of things, can be really challenging. Viewed from the Akashic side of things, from the energetic level, this place is cool. This place rocks. This is the party I want to be at, because this is where I get to learn and grow. Angels don't even get to incarnate in the same way we do. In fact, we have an amazing angel show on Archangel Michael, all the secrets, all the things about Archangel Michael that you ever wanted to know to help you. That's on Thursday's show with Lorna Byrne. How does it get any better than this? Even angels don't get to incarnate, but we do. There's something incredibly special about it. And so we choose to come back and learn, and choose to come back and learn. Even when right now we're going, higher self, I never, ever want to come back here. You get to the other side and you go, well, that was interesting, but I didn't quite get that lesson yet. Let me come back and learn it. So it's less important what the past life was than the message or teaching you can get out of it. More important, not what the life was, but what the message and the teaching is you can get out of it. Now, it doesn't mean it doesn't help to see your past life, and that's where we're going in just a second. It's cool to see your past lives. It's very helpful to see your past lives. But it also means if you have a feeling about a past life, if you simply have a feeling about a past life, even if you don't know where it comes from, man, I just feel like I must have been abandoned as a 2-year-old and left on someone's doorstep. If you feel that way, I must have been abandoned as a 2-year-old and left at someone's doorstep, then chances are you were abandoned at some point and left on somebody's doorstep. When you have that worry and concern and think it might be coming from a past life, almost certainly it is. But most important is not that you had this past life. Most importantly is not that, oh, I may be scarred for all of eternity. Nothing could be further from the truth. The most important thing is if I've got a worry, fear, and concern of being abandoned, and it doesn't appear to come from this lifetime, then it gets to be cleared. Past lives are all about the energetic imprint. Energetic imprint, meaning the energy that we're cycling, the energy that gives us our tonality, the energy that gives us our own personal note or music. And it will change and go to a higher level when we clear not just what we know from past lives, but what we believe are from past lives and from the stories we think we make up in our minds. For those stories, chances are, aren't made up, they're real. So what we get to do is respect the stories, look at the stories, study the stories. At the end of the show here tonight, I'll teach you how you can use those stories to help begin to clear those wounds. Of course, yes, I've got to mention our School of Mystics, where we dive even deeper into these topics and we do massive clearings, a group clearing that is like 10 times, 100 times, I don't even know, maybe even more than that powerful, harnessing the power of the group. That's on School of Mystics is 4 Wednesdays a month, but our group clearings are the 3rd Wednesday of each month. But you can begin to clear these things on your own. So we go back to our past lives. And of course, you can go back to a past life with an expert or a past life regression hypnotherapist. And I certainly can't recommend this enough. In fact, a big shout out to our dear friend in Australia, Cian Chow, who did our past life regressions, both for Jessica and myself, our first past life regressions. And they were the most amazing experiences, challenging, yet amazing. You can also do this with shamanic ceremony. You can do this with an ayahuasca experience. With Jessica, I can remember, I think it was our first ayahuasca experience. And I watched her, and we were under the shaman's watchful eye. I watched her morph before my eyes. And a lot of this stuff is really cool to do. I'm not talking ayahuasca experiences, but a lot of this healing is great to do with a partner. But I watched her morph before my eyes into an elder, into an auntie from probably the Brazilian rainforest, this very, very strong auntie who spoke in the strong auntie voice. And Jessica heard this voice, and I heard it as well. And she said, "How many times do you have to keep doing this?" And what she meant wasn't necessarily how many times do you have to keep taking ayahuasca. She meant, how many times do you have to keep hurting yourself without learning you don't need to have pain in order to learn? It was an exceptionally evolved teaching that came out of one of her past lives, that you can learn without hurt, without pain, without suffering. That's kind of humanity 2.0. We're not even there yet. But she was getting that from her past lives and from herself. There are many other techniques you can use to get in touch with your past lives. And I'm going to share 3 of them with you here tonight. And hold on one moment here. Hold on one moment. We don't have a guest on, but I'm looking at a crunching sound off camera. It's just a fun-filled, sound-filled evening here. All right, let's talk about the first technique that you can do to help you connect with your past lives, to see your past lives. And I see people here talking about hypnosis and self-hypnosis, and all of that is incredibly helpful. I love it. I love it. I love it. There's something even simpler you can do to start connecting with your past lives tonight. You can do it alone, or you can do it with a partner. I know that was a very subtle hint. Subtle hint again. What am I saying? It's called gazing. Actually, you do it with 2 eyes. You can gaze into a mirror. You can gaze into a partner's eyes. When you gaze, meaning to lock eyes on something, in this case, I would recommend after the show, go and look in the mirror. Stare in the mirror. Stare into your eyes. Stare into your eyeballs. Stare into the very center of your eyes. Get lost in your eyes. Guess what happens? You start to see your past lives. You start to see you morphing right before your eyes, because your eyes are the window to the soul, and the soul is eternal. And before you, you start to see one life, potentially the next, and the next, and the next, all by staring into your own eyes. You can certainly do this with a partner as well. If you haven't tried it, I highly encourage it. When Jessica and I have done this in the past, and it's been years, I think since Maui, which is almost 9 years ago now. Wow. We used to stare into each other's eyes, and she would say, I always turned Asian on her. And she's the truth police. So I can hear her off camera in my mind's eye going, not always. But she would say I would usually turn Asian because apparently I've lived many past lives as an Asian. Or, here's the key, I have many past lives as an Asian that get to be healed. You're not shown past lives just for coolness. You're not shown past lives just so that you can go, well, I was a XYZ. I don't know what it would be. I was on the council of, not Athens, of Atlantis or something. it's not a badge of pride. You get shown a past life because there's a wound there that gets to be cleared. And so what Jessica was seeing was wound after wound after wound after wound after wound. But I'm not alone. We all have these wounds that get to be clear. She could just see them very, very clearly in me. You can have fun with this too. You can make it ceremony. So I was literally burning sage and going around here burning sage before the night show. I'm laughing because we went so beautifully off the rails at the beginning, and I'm so, so grateful for it. But I was burning sage beforehand. You can do sage, you can do incense, you can ring bells, you can do whatever you desire to make it a sacred experience, or you can call on your angels and guides. Make this a ritual. Then watch your eyes closely. Yes, as I'm steering into the camera and looking into your eyes. Look into your eyes and see what you can see. Take note. Don't be freaked out if all of a sudden you go, oh, wait, was that imagination? It was real. Take note of that, because it's the taking note that is then going to allow you to heal. So what we do is, wow, I turned Asian. Wow, I turned polka dot. Doesn't matter. All of a sudden I was a woman, or a woman riding horseback. Whatever you notice, take note of it. Then what we get to do is we get to bring this back to spirit. That's what we do with all of our past life experiences, is we take them back to spirit. It's the same thing you do if you get a flash or a glimpse of a past life from a dream. And more on that in particular in a moment. That's actually the second key way that we get to experience or find our past lives. So I guess we could say first is go to a professional. Love it. Second, gaze. You can do that one tonight. Third, ask a past life to be shown to you in your dream world. And I say dream world because to me, truly, the waking world is the dream world, and the dream world is the waking world. It is in this dream state where we are shown such powerful things. And so before you go to sleep, ask your angels, ask your guides, ask your higher self, what can you show me about my past lives while I sleep? Or can you show me one past life in particular that I get to work on to heal? Can you show me just one past life? And chances are they will. So keep a notepad handy. Another key point when it comes to asking in your dreams is ask them to show you your past lives and make it. This is a favorite line I use for whenever I do dream work. Make it as clear as day. You don't want to just think, well, I think I had some idea of a past life, or maybe I had some idea of a past life. No, ask your angels and guides to make it as clear as day. So you go to sleep, ask to be guided to your past life. This is actually what you do in a past life regression. And when you go to a past life regression, you set an intention of what you want to get out of this. You set an intention of how you may want to heal. You set an intention with the hypnotherapist where you want to go, not the specific past life. And then you let go of it. Well, if you're going to do this in a dream is a past life hypnotherapy session. It's just led by you, your higher self. So ask to be guided. Set an intention before you sleep. Ask to remember this. Ask to be shown this as clear as day so that you can heal it. And keep that notepad handy. Make it as clear as day and keep the notepad handy. I'm going to give you one more way, and then we're going to talk about how to do some clearings and some healings. I believe it's one more way. I always get tricked by the angels and guides when I say, oh, just one more thing, because then it becomes just one more thing and just one more thing. This third way, though, which I guess is fourth if we include the professionals at the beginning. This third way is if you practice automatic writing or doing any sort of writing where you uncouple from your conscious mind, where you're not consciously thinking while you write. And yes, I do have an automatic writing class in 10 days. If you'd love to come join us, I'd love to have you there. But if you do any process when you uncouple from your conscious mind, you can simply go into this state and ask to be shown your past lives, and then keep the pen going and see what comes up. Keep the pen going and see what comes up. For when it comes to past lives, it's all too easy to discount them, to throw the memories away, to say, I made that up. In fact, when you first have a memory about a past life, chances are you will throw it out. You'll say, that's not real. Here's an example from me that I get to work on that I can't believe I forgot about until I was doing this in my automatic writing, until I was channeling for this YouTube event tonight. I completely forgot. So years ago now, I don't know, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I was invited to a Nobel Peace Prize summit in Mexico, in the Yucatan Peninsula, land of the Mayans. And I got to travel to the Mayan temples. In fact, I got to hike up on top of some of the Mayan temples. And I went on top of one of the Mayan temples. I did a meditation. Excuse me. I opened my eyes on top of this temple. And I said, as clear as day, I've been here before. And I looked around and it was very clear I had been there before. I don't remember almost anything about my life or lives, but I know that I had an experience or experiences there. But I didn't write it down. I didn't anchor it in. And until today, I didn't think about it. I think I mentioned it to Jessica in passing when I came back, and then I forgot all about it. But now today, I recognize, hey, wait, you felt you had a past life, and this, chances are, is real. That's all you need. You go into writing, you go into the dream world, you go into a gaze, and you go, this may be real. That recognition, that remembrance, that tiny little spark or ember is all you need to go back there and see what gets to be healed or what gets to be learned. So Rumi, one of my all-time favorite mystics and poets, says, because time's not real, the wound is where the light shines in. The wound is where the light shines in. And Brenda, thank you so much. Man, there's been so many kind donations. I don't even see them in the notes at the moment. But Brenda, 4444, how does it get any better than this? Thank you so much for your kind donation. And I'm sure I'll see who else has been given some kind donations. And I promise I will thank you. I promise. The wound is where the light shines in. We all have these memories of past lives. We tend to just discount them or throw them away or even forget about them. Please don't do this. Instead, learn from them. Lean into the wounds. For inside of the wounds are the treasure. That's where the good stuff is. So this morning, I'm channeling for class tonight. Keep saying class. I'm channeling for this beautiful YouTube experience tonight. And I'm seeing myself on top of one of these temples. I can see all this amazing like jungle down beneath me. There's still living jaguars down there. How does it get any better than this? And I start to feel myself in a past life. And I don't I don't know almost anything about it, but I hear that I have a brother. And I'm told that my brother in that Mayan path, say that 10 times fast. My brother in that Mayan past double crossed me. Now, we can look at a past life and we can say, well, I got to get angry. I got to get even. I got to get this. I got to get that. It's interesting, though, that it's a brother because there's this concept of brotherly love. So if a brother, and all of this has meaning and symbolism behind it. If a brother double crossed me, I'd still have to send him love. But now if you lean into these dreams, if you lean into these images, these experiences, these things that feel kind of real, but we're not sure about them, more information starts to come to us. For me, it wasn't about the double crosser, because as I like to tell everyone, we are all one. If I had a past life where a brother double crossed me, what it's really about is me either double crossing me, or more importantly, not allowing me to be me, not allowing me to do what I like, not allowing me to feel love, not allowing me to live my life rather than someone else's life, my brother's, for instance. So when you have this experience, and that gets to be healed, and I started doing work on that this morning. One of the interesting things about past lives is they tend to be multiple lives, all centered around one theme until we get to clear it. And then we find multiple lives centered around another theme, and then multiple lives around another theme. The most important being the one we get to step forward in first. For myself, as I've mentioned on the show before, it has been around trust. It is about self-worth. It is about feeling that I'm a good person and don't really ruin things or make big mistakes. And so it makes sense that in this Mayan life, my brother was not allowing me to be me. So it's really quite easy to do. We get a glimpse of our lives, and then we start writing about it without thought and without attachment, remembering details might be interesting, but they're not important. The details aren't important. What is important is the one key message or the one key takeaway. You can ask. You can literally ask. You can ask your angels. You can ask your guides. You can ask in automatic writing. What is the one message or takeaway that I get to know about, that I get to heal from, that will help raise my energy, that will help me to ascend? In essence, understanding this Mayan past life, for instance, changes my bing frequency, begins to heal and go to a little bit higher note. You find another past life, bing, and another one. I should have started with a low note. Bing, bing, bing. As you clear each past life, your note, your music starts to go up and up and up. In a very real sense, going after your past life shifts your energy. And not a moment, not at the essence, not a drop of your past lives is ever wasted. It all goes into your energetic field, your own personal matrix or lattice work. Every single life helps raise your energy. It's only a matter of how much. And it turns out the lives that were most challenging, once understood, help elevate your consciousness, your energy, your vibration the most. It's not the easy lifetimes that did it. It's the lifetimes where you learn gargantuan lessons that can truly set you free and raise your energy, catapult it to the stratosphere and beyond. That's what's so cool about going after our past lives. You and I we're this, I think they have it in Kansas, world's largest ball of twine, somewhere off of I-70 is my guess. Remember that, driving back and forth to college, and maybe now somebody else has an even bigger world's largest ball of twine. Well, our ball of twine that's wrapped around our heart is knotted and tangled from the energy of all of our past lives being knotted and tangled. And every single time you go and heal a past life, those knots and tangles come out. One more example for me because, well, they're interesting. I feel they're interesting. I'm biased. I have had probably many lifetimes in Japan. One lifetime, and I may have mentioned it. I know I've mentioned it in YouTube Lives before, and I've mentioned it in the School of Mystics. One lifetime, I was a high-powered, highfalutin monk. If there is such a thing as a highfalutin monk. I was an elder power Zen monk, a monk at a Zen Buddhist monastery with a vow of chastity. And I worked my whole lifetime as a Zen Buddhist monk. I worked incredibly hard at enlightenment. My goal was to become enlightened. In other words, to check out. It's a strange goal, but that was my goal, to become enlightened. Until it was clear it wasn't coming. So what does a Zen Buddhist monk do who's got a vow of chastity if they've spent their entire life and every bit of energy and strength and every breath they've had on becoming enlightened, and enlightenment doesn't come? Well, the technical term is I got pissed off like a mofo. I got angry. I got upset. I felt like I'd wasted my whole life and I'd screwed everything up. And at the end of the day, I was bitter, I was angry, and I took my own life. And I can see that past life as clear as day. And it's okay. I now know, or when I first found this, what gets to be healed. This idea that I've screwed up and wasted everything gets to be healed. And there's a simple process for healing that I want to share with you, or a simple process for clearing. However, and I'm going to help you with that in a few minutes. It's key to embody. It's so important to embody this lesson, to take time with this lesson. It's another reason the School of Mystics is so powerful, where we play with these energies, we play with this understanding, we play with really getting this at the bottom of our soul to help us to ascend. I want you to do what I call snow globing. Where'd that stone go? One of these days, there's a Ponce de Leon Fountain of Youth place here. It is where Ponce de Leon believed he found the Fountain of Youth. Because the First Nation people here were so much healthier until the European disease was brought over than the Europeans who came here. So they believed it must be the water. But you can get it at the Ponce de Leon gift shop. You can get a little snow globe. I want you to take your own snow globe, meaning your past life, and I want you to look at it. I want you to examine it. I want you to feel it. I want you to pull out your pen and paper. Ta-da! And I want you to write about it. Write a story about your past life. Put on some music, preferably like theta brain entrainment music. Put on your music and make up a story. Check out no matter how creative or not creative you are, check out every aspect of your life you can. Write about it in any way that you can. Record it if you can't write. Look at it and say, what gets to be healed? Now, this does several things. First off, it's going to help you to heal from your past life, from that trauma, that wound. But it's also teaching you how to look at your life from the perspective of story and metaphor from higher level. Why do I teach the School of Mystics? Because I want to free you from the autopilot that we're going through of everything is as it is. Nothing is as it is. It is all symbol. It is all signs. It is all story. It is all messages. And if you look at your past lives and you write about your past lives, you begin to understand the stories and the metaphors from a higher level. That's what sets you free. So when we look at our lives from a higher level, we see repeating patterns. We see these karmic wounds and we go, aha, I know what I get to heal. So it's not enough for me to look at my life and say, I was a very unhappy monk. I was probably the most miserable. I wonder if there was some happiness. I don't think so. I don't think I allowed myself to be happy. I didn't allow myself to experience joy because I was so busy on a mission. I could do that same thing now. I'm taking more and more time with my family, more and more time with baby Hannah. And I get to do even more of that because I'm still that monk. A lot healthier, I hope. But these wounds come back around and again and again and again, and we get to clear them at a higher and higher and higher level. I wasn't just a very unhappy monk. I was a monk who gave his life away for a dream that wasn't real, for a dream that was, well, when I die, I get. I never lived my life. And then I took my own life. So I get to look at that life and say, what was the real wound? What did I really need to get clear and cleared? That's what you get to do too. To look at that life, to write about that life, to give love to that life, but to ask, what was the wound? And your first hit, I'm sure, is the wound that gets to be cleared. What was that wound that you have? For myself, it was a wound of attachment. Strange, as a monk, particularly a Buddhist monk, I was supposedly indoctrinated in how to let go of attachment. But instead, I had a mighty attachment to enlightenment, a mighty attachment to, here's where you keep pulling on this string, a life with strings attached. The strings attached to my Zen Buddhist life said, I am only good enough if I reach enlightenment. I'm only good enough when I reach enlightenment, or I won't be good enough until I, fill in the blank for yourself, until I do, until I achieve, or until I become X, Y, or Z. That was my disease of attachment that I had. And that's what I would get to clear if I haven't done so. That's what I want you to do too. Look at your past lives, because after tonight, things are going to start to come to you. I apologize. I haven't even been in the chat, but I know there are people in the chat going, well, this was a past life and that was a past life. And these are the wounds I've had. And those are the wounds I had. And this, yes. And somebody's saying all suffering, Amanda, lies in attachment. Absolutely. Heen saying Michael was Rue's mom in another life. You never know. Certainly part of my soul group. I gave Rue a kiss. It's on video. You can go on our Inspire Nation channel. You can look up, I think it's called the Ruru story. And Jessica actually caught it on camera. We rescued him off the side of the road, scooped him up after 15 minutes of talking with him on this mountain road. And I'm so terrified that a car is going to hit him. Scoop him up with a t-shirt, took my t-shirt off. I didn't know how to catch a rooster or a chicken. Brought him in the car. And I think basically the first thing I did was give him a kiss. It was like an instant recognition that this dude and I have been around, I'm going to cry, been around the block a time or two before. I want you to look at your past life, to study your past life, to embody your past life, and then to release whatever it is you found. To release whatever it is you found. And a last note, then I'm going to teach you this clearing here. And then come join us at the School of Mystics. We'll take this to a whole new level. But it doesn't matter. This is the big takeaway. This is the crazy thing. Because I can think of Jessica's past life regression. And she's going, I was too awake. I don't know if it was real. I don't know if I made things up. And I can go to my past life regressions and I can go, yeah, I feel that too. Was it real? Did I make things up? That's just silliness. Couldn't be the case. The universe speaks to us in stories. The universe speaks to us in metaphors. So it doesn't matter. This is the crazy part because we're talking about past lives. It doesn't matter if what you believe is your past life is real or not. It doesn't matter if it's real or not. It doesn't matter if you think it was simply a dream or your imagination, because it was planted inside of you in order to be healed. There is an energetic imprint that no matter whether the story is real or not, came from somewhere. And if you feel it inside of you, then it was real. And you don't need to remember the story in order to clear it. This brings us full circle here tonight to the details. The details aren't important, or as I'm told over and over again by my guides, the details are none of our business. Put another way, looking at like ayahuasca ceremony and stuff, all that cool stuff you see around you, that's pyrotechnics. The pyrotechnics aren't important. What's important is what goes bling and plays on your heart strings. That's the only thing that's important. So if you feel you're wounded, great, let's clear it. If you feel a block, great, let's clear it. If you feel a hole in your heart because you believe that this or that or the other thing happened, doesn't matter if it did or not. Let's clear that. You don't need the story in order to clear it, and you don't need the story to set yourself free. Why am I doing this topic tonight? Not just because past lives are cool. They're interesting. Yes, they are. But I want to set you free. What does that mean? It means if you're walking around like I used to walk around, thinking I'm a screw up, thinking I'm an idiot, it is a miracle that Jessica hung in there with me through that period of my life. It is an absolute miracle. If you think of yourself as a screw up, an idiot, I'm a screw up, I'm an idiot, I'm a screw up, I'm an idiot, I'm a screw up, I'm an idiot. Cancel, clear, release. It is really hard to live this lifetime at your highest level. It is really hard to live your lifetime even at a survival level. If you go, wow, I had this lifetime as a monk where I took my own life. I felt like such a screw up and an idiot. Wow, I had this other lifetime as a Mayan where my brother betrayed me and I felt like I ruined my whole life. I had this other lifetime. You don't have to have a whole bunch of lifetimes. And you say, well, that's interesting. And I feel like that pattern keeps repeating. And in this lifetime, and this is a key point, if you want to go looking for your past lives before you go to bed, if you have a repeating pattern in your life, if you have a pattern where you blow up relationships, if you have a pattern where you blow up jobs, if you have a pattern where you blow things up, whatever it is, go to your angels and guides or your higher self before you sleep and say, hey, look, I've got this pattern. I don't think it started with me, or at least I don't think it started with me this lifetime. Can you show me where it started? Or can you show me what I get to know in order for it to be cleared? And if they show you something, write it down and study it. And if they don't show you something, remember it's all about your imagination. Write something down, write anything about it, imagine a story, and then let us clear it. You can clear it whether or not it comes complete, whether or not there's a whole story behind it. And we're going to go into questions in a minute. I want to give you the most basic clearing. It's very powerful. It works. You can ask anyone who's here in my School of Mystics, because I've used the same clearing line with them, just how powerful this is. And yes, when you do it with a group, it's even more powerful. But just doing it on your own can help heal your heart. Now, I'm an angels guy, admittedly. You don't have to be an angels person. You don't have to believe in pretty much any of this stuff. It's just energy. So the words that I'm going to use for this clearing, feel free to keep as they are. They work. Or feel free to change them to whatever feels more pono. It's a Hawaiian word for righteous or true to you. And I'm looking at my phone. My phone has a magnet on it. You can use a refrigerator magnet for this. You can use your phone for this. It's funny. I've got all these different sticky notes on my phone here tonight because it has been, Jessica rediscovered sticky notes recently, as then she bought a bunch, and I think I absconded with them to remind me of a whole bunch of things, as I've been my own EA for a while now, and it's actually starting to go great. I'm starting to learn so much more about myself through this process. But you can take phone, which has a magnet on it, and you're going to go to whatever that wound is. And you can repeat after me, or you can shift it to your own expression. So let's say, I will do this for myself, for my Mayan lifetime, where my brother betrayed me and didn't let me live my life. And I'm sure I ended that life feeling like I'd ruined everything. I screwed everything up. I didn't get to live my life. And so what I would do is I would take my handy dandy phone or magnet. And this is what I want you to do on all of the wounds, karmic wounds and patterns that keep coming up in your life. I would say Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Uriel. That's Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Uriel. Higher self, higher team, and all angels, guides, and light workers. All angels, guides, and light workers. Here for my highest good and the highest good of all. Please help me to clear any wounds, traumas, blocks, walls, and repeating karmic patterns. And repeating karmic patterns having to do with any past lives, or a past life. In my case, my Mayan lifetime, having to do with feeling I betrayed myself, with feelings of self-worth, with feelings of being less than, with feelings of having ruined things or having ruined my life or never being able to have lived my life. Please help remove these wounds, traumas, blocks, walls, and karmic patterns from me now and forever. Thank you. You put one hand over your heart. You take that magnet or that cell phone battery, in a sense, and you run it over the top. This does not mean I'm tired. It means a lot of energy is coming out and being released. I would do this 10, 11, 12 times. And you will feel yourself getting so much lighter. And so I want to open it up to questions now. We have an amazing show again Thursday night from Lorna Byrne on Archangel Michael. She has the most amazing energy. If you haven't gotten her show, and she has a beautiful re-release of her book, Angels in My Fingertips, and it is a life-changing book and a life-saving book. I cannot recommend it enough. But Lorna Byrne will be on our show, not a live event, that'll be a recorded event, which will be on Thursday night. How does it get any better than this? And I know there are a lot of donations that came in, and I can't see how to see them in my notes here tonight. So if you, here we go. They're down at the bottom here. So first I want to thank everybody. So thank you, Amanda Simpson. Lots of love and light right back your way. Thank you, Sylvia. How does it get any better than this? Love you, love you, love you. Thank you, Elsa and 444. Cheers to learning without pain and fear. How does it get any better than this? All right, so let us go into questions here. All right. From Sylvia. And it's interesting, Sylvia, because there was a song I heard earlier today where the guy said that dentist was one of the things he's afraid of. Sylvia, I have phobia and really bad anxiety going to the dentist. I often wonder if it has to do with the past lives. I've had this problem since I was a child. Any advice, please, Michael? Well, what I would do is, Sylvia, just the same things that I mentioned. I would, for one thing, I would gaze, see if anything comes up. I would ask my angels and guides when I go to sleep, can you show me a past life, if there was one, where I have a challenge with a dentist or dentists? And then I would simply write about this, see what comes up. You can do this as a story. Once upon a time, I, Sylvia, who was once known as Arthur, had to go to the dentist. And when I went to the dentist, make up a story. It's one of the greatest ways in the world to heal. Even if you can't, you can still do the clearing. Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Uriel. Please help clear the wounds, traumas, blocks, and walls from a past life or lives where I had a terrible fear or trauma or hurt from a dentist, where my mouth was ruined, my teeth was ruined, my life was ruined from the dentist, or where I believe my child was so hurt by the dentist. Please help clear this now and forever. Thank you. Grab that handy dandy magnet, run it over the top of your head. Energy's already coming out, which means I may be doing a little bit of a clearing on you without your permission, which is rare that it works, but I know how much you want to be cleared. But do that and watch and see how much better you feel. Angelisa, so then is everything already decided then if there is no time? Not at all. Not at all, Angelisa. This is a brilliant, brilliant question. Because we have this notion that just because everything is happening all at once, that it's already all taken place. Nope. You can say that it's an infinitude of time before any of it takes place, or that it's all taken place. It's a very hard concept to understand here. Here's the dealio when it comes to free will. We have all the free will in the world on the other side of the veil to choose the lessons and learnings for when we come here. This isn't the real world. That is. And so we have all the free will in the world. Once we come here for specific learnings and lessons, Angelisa. So our free will becomes kind of limited into a more narrow bandwidth to assure us or ensure that we get the lessons and the learnings that we need to. Now, we can get the lessons the easy way, letting go of that attachment, being open, doing the work, or we can get them the hard way, ostriching up, putting our heads in the sand and going, no, not this lifetime, in which case it tends to hurt and hurt really badly. The open, awake, and aware and letting go process tends to bring the lessons to us typically in an easier fashion. Conversely, there are some lessons where that holding on irrationally, though it may actually be here to serve us. The lesson will chase you down no matter what, Angelisa. So you don't have to worry about them, but you also get to live your life and to rock it. Rock your life, Angelisa. It's your life. What we learned from our past lives is how important the big picture theme is, not the little theme or not the little details. So live this life, Angelisa, with everything you've got. Denise, it also is good when you can have help remembering the past. Can your guardian angel help you remember? And if so, how do they do it? A great question, Denise. You can go to your guardian angel directly. You can go to your guardian angel, again, calling in angels. That's what we were talking about before we dream. And you can specifically, in automatic writing, write to your guardian angel, because Denise, you're right. Your guardian angel has been there with you for every single lifetime you've ever had or ever will have. And ask him or ask her. They're really neutral, but we tend to call them either a him or a her. Ask them to show you what you need to see in order to be healed. Remember, when it comes to angels and comes to guardian angels, they almost never, ever, 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 ever help unless we ask for that assistance. So make that ask. From Dawn. So is our soul split? No. I'm sorry, Dawn. Our soul is not split into all these lives we're living. Our soul is whole and complete. It's just that time isn't what we make of it. So you have your whole existence here, but then you would have your whole existence there, but then you would have your whole existence here. And here is where the real trippy part is, Dawn. This is not your whole soul. Your whole soul is outside of time. Your whole soul is here, and you're just having a minuscule experience within your whole soul. But your soul is never split. It's never divided. It's never not having the whole full experience. It is the consciousness or where we tune the station or the dial on that changes. So right now you are dialed into Dawn Reichert lifetime here on Earth in 2023. If you turn the dial a little bit more, you will be somebody else in some other lifetime, wholly and completely there and not split. From Cherie Wolf. If all of our lives are playing out simultaneously, how do you ever heal your trauma so we can stop suffering? Take this one first. Go after your wounds and blocks here. However, well, if you're saying take all these wounds on, then why am I looking at past lives? Because if you've got a repeating pattern, it didn't start here. So to help here, we look for what has been in these past lives. It's interesting. So what I'm hearing here from several people is if all of our lives are going on simultaneously, I have even more to worry about. No, you don't. All you get to do is live this one beautiful existence right here, right now. And if you find repeating patterns, clear them. And if you feel there's something from the past, clear it. And if you feel energetically there's something that's stuck, clear it. Become a super sleuther, become a Sherlock. I'm wondering what the female equivalent to the word Sherlock is. Become a Sherlock or Sherlocka. No, forgive me. Become a Mr. or Mrs. Holmes. Go super sleuthing and clear everything so that you don't suffer. And, Cherie, don't pick on yourself for suffering or pick on yourself for not having found the wounds or pick on yourselves for any trauma you may have experienced. We tend to take a lot of this self-help and hurt ourselves with it and say, well, then I haven't cleared this. There must be something wrong with me. I have a repeating pattern over here. There must be something wrong with me. There ain't nothing wrong with any of us. You, every single one of us. There's nothing wrong with us. There's nothing that gets to be fixed. We can energetically help spiral upwards anymore, but ain't nothing broken. We don't hear that enough. We think something's wrong with us. Nothing could be further from the truth. From Veronica, I have heard that your birthmark shows that how you died in a previous life. Is there any truth to this belief? I believe there is, Veronica. And I have a birthmark on me that I was shown in a lifetime was where I got speared as a Native American. Ow! And it went right into my femoral artery and I fell into the water in a creek. I can still picture it. I fell, the horse reared up, I fell and I died. And I have that birthmark. So I do believe that that's there to help remind me of a very important life in order for me to heal something on a very, very deep soul level. New Troy, thank you. Thank you for writing how we pronounce your name. Where do souls come from? How do they split? That is a very advanced question, New Troy. Souls are from the universe. They're all part of the universe. We are all part of the universe. It's like, in essence, asking, where does the wave come from? Well, the wave comes from the ocean. How does it split from the ocean? The wave never split, New Troy, from the ocean. But coming across the water, we can identify one wave and another wave. Some of them look the same. Some of them look radically different. Some of them are rogue waves that are like 8 or 9 or 10 stories high. But they're all waves that are part of the ocean. They never split. And at the end of the day, they return to the ocean. And in a sense, what is a wave? Bringing it back full circle, New Troy, and I'll take maybe one more question, then we're going to go into a brief meditation. What is a wave? Well, it's a carrier of energy. It's a carrier of information. It is a wave sign. It is a vibration. It is a frequency. What are we talking about tonight? Clearing our karmic wounds, clearing our traumas, clearing from past lives helps our frequency go, or vibration go to a new level. It helps your wave become even more of the waviness that you can be. It's all about a frequency. Each wave has a frequency. Each soul has a frequency. And each soul is individual and a part of that one giant, beautiful blue ocean. All right, let's take one last question. Body electric supplement. Can you discover your past life on your own? Yes. Body electric, I need you to go to the beginning and watch this again, or shortcut it, jump in about 20, 25 minutes, because we have baby Hannah in the beginning, and then we had Rue who needed to go to sleep. And then I gave you 3 different ways that you can discover past lives on your own. And I want you to play with those. And if a past life hypnotherapist or past life regressionist is around you, go see them as well. Why not? You've got everything to gain. I'm going one more question from Brenda. Last question of the evening. So, issues we're dealing with repeatedly in this life, maybe things we haven't healed from a past life. Chances are they are. If it comes up once, it's this lifetime. If it comes up twice, it might be this lifetime. If it comes up 3 times, we need to start looking beyond this lifetime. If it keeps coming up time after time after time, chances are something bigger picture is going on that you brought forward. You brought your baggage here in order to be cleared. And I would go after it, super sleuthing it with everything you've got. We can start first, of course. We can do a clearing without knowing what it is. But once we find out, I want you to dive in. I want you to write about it. I want you to gaze about it. I want you to do dream work about it. I want you to do all of this. And when you get more information, I want you to clear and clear and clear like there's no tomorrow. Or you bring it to something like the School of Mystics, clear it there with the group. But I want you to look for what it is. I want you to get clear about it. I want you to study it. I want you to learn about that lifetime or lifetimes. And then I want to say, clear it with everything you've got, meaning give it away to source, to spirit, to your higher self with everything you've got, so that we can end that karmic pattern once and for all. So now I'm going to take a sip of water. We're going to dive into a brief meditation here. And then don't forget about, we've got Lorna Byrne on Thursday night. Of course, we've got our School of Mystics. Of course, we've got our automatic writing class next week. If you were to start one place, though, I would get your daily attunement, your daily vibrational alignment. I have a better way of describing it, which I believe Bhavik has been putting down there as well. But it's your opportunity to sync with spirit at the highest level each and every day, because there's a story in each one of these. Yes, a daily energy transmission. Thank you, Bhavik. That's what's going on here. There's a story in each one of these newsletters. However, what people will probably put in the chat room here is they feel good and they are fun and they are uplifting. And that's at dailywoohoo.com. All right, let's move on from here. Oh, I just tripped across Janet's question. I'm going to take one last question. And DNA has been a member of the Backstage Pass for 10 months. That's the button down below that gives you all sorts of cool videos and behind the scenes info. You click the join button. But going back to Janet's last question tonight, what if you feel you've made a complete mess of this life, which you can't? Janet, I know your life may be really, really messy and ugly from an insider's perspective, from your perspective here on Earth. But then in the greater scheme of existence, this is exactly what you needed. You could be a rock star on the other side of the veil. Probably are. This is what you needed to help you learn at the highest level. So what if you feel you've made a complete mess of this life? How was my past lives? Were they even worse than the one I am currently living? It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that if something is going challenging this lifetime, it means that I've been a mess in a past life or been terrible in more past lives or even worse in past lives. It's all learnings and lessons. They're all stories. It's like picking up a collection of stories, or I'm being shown, oh, wow. I'm being shown a red book from my childhood. I think it was called Uncle Wiggily. Somebody will probably Google that and tell me whether I'm right or not. And I think Uncle Wiggily was a collection of stories about this rabbit called Uncle Wiggily. Your lives are collections of stories, Janet. Each one here to teach you, but it doesn't mean that one leads to the next, and this one was horrible, so this one's going to be horrible, and the next one's going to be horrible, or anything of the sort. They're just individual stories with their own arc, with their own message, with their own theme for you to learn from. So you don't have to worry if this life was challenging, that your past lives may have been even worse, or that a future life is going to be even worse if you don't clear things here. It doesn't work that way. It's all just learnings on the path. Now, Janet, if life feels like a complete mess, please forgive me, but if it feels like a complete mess, we know some easy things that get to be cleared. I want you to start working on that. Take your biggest wounds, take your things that keep repeating time after time after time. Watch this show again, particularly toward the end, maybe 5 or 10 minutes ago, and start clearing some of these energetic patterns or some of these knots in the giant ball of twine that is Janet Leslie. How does it get any better than this? And thank you so much for being a backstage member. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you, even if you don't, but I love you, Janet. All right. Sip of water, then a brief meditation. Thank you, Aya. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Bhavik. You guys rock. All right. All right. And yes, it has been a crazy energetic time recently. It certainly has. So let's put our feet on the floor. Kind of stomp your feet on the floor, pound your feet on the floor. This is what Hannah Bear likes to do now when she eats dinner, particularly with some music on. She'll dance back and forth, and I think she actually dances with her feet going down from the high chair. But I want you to basically ground into the earth with your feet. Ground a little further still. And you can kind of wiggle your butt on the chair, on your seat cushion. Feel yourself really grounding into your seat as well. I want you to rotate your shoulders, your head. And what we're doing is we're just sinking into our chair, we're sinking into our cushion, and we're sinking into the earth. We're going to simply take a nice deep breath in through the nose, down to the belly, and out through the nose. In through the nose, and out through the nose. In and out. One more time. In and out. As we continue to breathe in and out, we're going to certainly harness the power of the group here to help us with any past life work we're going to do. And so I want you to imagine that we are one giant circle, one giant family here this evening, this morning, or whenever you are watching this. And we put out our hand and hold it with the person to our right. We put out our hand and hold it with the person to our left. We breathe in together as one and out as one. In and out. One more time. In as one and out as one. Now, as we continue to breathe in and out, I want you to call on your angels, call on your guides, or simply call on the power of the group and say, angels, guides, higher self, or power of the group, please show me a past life or lives of mine. Please show me one glimpse into who or what I was before, and see what comes to mind. See what you find. Angels, guides, higher self, inner wisdom, can you show me more about this past life? And can you show everyone here this evening even more about their past life? Angels, guides, higher wisdom, inner wisdom, higher self. Can you share what one of the wounds is that everyone has experienced from this past life or lives? Can you help them see how this wound is connected to their present day experience? Can you help them to see how this wound is connected to how they are living their life right now? And can you help them to see how clearing this wound will help begin to clear a karmic pattern from inside of them, from deep inside of them, from the side of them, from lifetime to lifetime? Will help clear this pattern now and forever. And then with your permission, I'd like to do a very, very brief clearing. I do a massive clearing again. Come join the School of Mystics. I'll do a massive clearing then, but I want to just do a micro clearing, one clearing on this one past life right now, if I have your permission. And here we go. Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Uriel, higher self, higher team, and all angels, guide, and light workers, here for our highest good and the highest good of all. Please help clear the wounds, traumas, blocks, walls, and repeating karmic patterns from everyone here tonight, past, future, and present, from everyone watching this episode or show, from everyone who is doing this meditation here with us, whether they are in the past, the future, or the present. Please help clear the wounds, traumas, blocks, walls, and karmic patterns from the past life that they are experiencing, that they are reliving, or that is simply coming to mind or coming to their heart. Please help remove this wound, trauma, block, wall, and karmic pattern from them. Now and forever, thank you. Ooh. That was a lot of energy. So now you can open up your eyes, kind of wriggle back in your seat again. You can stomp your feet on the ground. You can see if you feel, even if just a little bit lighter. Make sure you drink plenty of water. Get yourself lots of rest if this is a time that you get to go to sleep. And I want to send all my love your way. Yeah, check out the Daily Woohoo, dailywoohoo.com. Yeah, become a mystic. Come join the School of Mystics. Yeah, learn automatic writing. So much goodness here. And yeah, let's love up Aya, Bhavik, and Ann, who helps run everything here. Oh. And Hannah Bear and Mama Bear for letting Hannah Bear come on the show. And of course, Rue. I love you guys so much. How does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? Woohoo! I'll see you guys. Have the most beautiful evening and day ahead, and much love sent your way. Good night, everyone. Is there a way we can call on Archangel Michael to help heal our hearts?
From the beginning of time, Archangel Michael was already given this mission to help us to grow and to grow spiritually, reach back inside of you, to touch your soul, to help you not just to look in with your human eyes, but to help your soul to come forward so that you can see through the eyes of your soul as well. I know Archangel Michael and all of the angels helping us to battle through these things. The world is being given the messages. Please listen.
Every day there's a new horizon. Birds keep on singing, earth keeps on spinning. Time to toss any fears they rule you. Dance to vibrations, no limitations. Shine, hold the sunlight on your chest and fly. Look to the sky, let your spirit shine brightly, shine brightly. Oh, shine. Share the magic deep in your soul. Feel glitter around you. Live your greatest truth. Catch those dreams, swim in the